Right, welcome everybody to another episode of Chris and Dave's Reality Cast. I am one of your hosts, Chris Phelps. My co-host and very good friend is Mr. Dave Horrocks.
Hey there, it's Chris. It's great to speak to you again. And this time we're taking a bit of a break from Singletown. We're back on Labour of Love, episode 3. Now, where do you want to start today?
Well, I think we'll start with we'll warm up today, Dave. So let's start with the intellectual challenge that went on with these kids who were fuck me, Dave, absolute fucking geniuses, weren't they?
Yeah, that was a bit mean, that wasn't it? I mean, they are clearly very smart kids, and it's interesting wording used there, intellectual challenge. I mean, I think some of them felt a bit intellectually challenged doing that. So yeah, it was a bit intimidating, wasn't it? They were super smart, those kids.
Oh, that girl, one of the girl who got the standing ovation. Jesus Christ, Dave, you want her in a game of fucking Trivial Pursuit. She was so clever. And the way she articulated herself was fantastic. I was like, jaw on the floor job, like, and all the guys are just like, holy shit. You know, and some of them are going, I went to Yale, I did this. Is like, look, lads, there's levels to this game, just like there is in sports, and she's on another fucking planet. She's going to be running the fucking world at some point. She was so clever.
Yeah, no, she really did. She did herself well there on TV. But I mean, for me, Chris, this episode, Jason is the star of this episode, and he was clearly one of the ones who, looked like he was caught, like a rabbit in the headlights. But it gets even worse for him because in the first couple of episodes, he's just been a massive pisshead, hasn't he? And I think he's a good-looking bloke. He's got that sort of southern gentlemanly kind of thing going on for him, but he just looks like he's just there to get hammered all the time. And so it wasn't a massive surprise that when he got a bit of time with Kristy, that he decides to give her decides to have some drinking games with her. And he's like, "Oh, if you lose, you've got to give me a kiss." What do you reckon to that whole interaction and Jason?
That was, to me, Dave, I'm sorry, but I thought it was really creepy and inappropriate because he was just like, give it, and she went, no. She's
Yeah,
trying to get to know him. And look, if let's be honest, Dave, if he'd used his fucking noggin, 2 or 3 of the contestants have already snogged her. So if he's that desperate to kiss her, if he'd been nice to her and actually genuinely cared about her and showed, well, even if he's not being genuine, but he's shown a bit of affection, a bit of attention, I'm pretty sure he would have got his fucking snog. I mean, the way he went at it was like a fucking sex pest. He's going, yeah, kiss. Go on, a
yeah.
kiss after this. No, I'll kiss you on the cheek. No, kiss. Dave, what reality in real life or anything, forget that it's a show, would that even work with a lady or a man? It just wouldn't fucking work, would it?
You wouldn't have thought so. I mean, it's it's the equivalent of like sending someone dick pics on Instagram or something, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it is. Exactly. Well, I've never sent one day, but they'd be very disappointed if I did with mine. But anyway, that's another story. But no, I still don't get that either. Like, you get a lot of celebrities and that, and I don't understand why sending them your chopper would make them go, you know what, I want to jump all over you. It just makes no sense to me at all.
They're not good-looking things, are they? I mean, it's just.
No.
I mean, we're going slightly off topic here, but yeah, it just was. I can't imagine unless it was like a real, unless you had an established relationship with someone, and you were just fucking about at the bar or something like that. I don't think it would ever work, to be honest.
No, and I think the only time that sort of thing does work, Dave, is usually on Pornhub, and that's not real. We don't like to think it was. We don't like to think it was real, but it's not real. You know what I mean? Like, oh, hello. Would you like to come and change a light bulb? Of course I would. Oh, where's the bulb? What's that? That sort of thing. It's not real life, people. I'm sorry, it
I
doesn't
tell you what,
work.
though, Chris, I think with this lockdown shit, I mean, it's a bit like, do you remember Friends when Joey and Chandler got the free porn channel, and
Yeah.
then it distorted their whole view of reality? maybe that's maybe that's what Jason's going through, but I'm sure a few other people are like me. But
I
anyway,
thought, I thought you were going to give us a confession then, Dave, the way you set that up. I was going to plead the fifth, Dave, anyway.
no, Chris. So So we get a few things going on in this episode as well. We have Stuart. He goes off on a date, bit of a cooking date there. And what did you make of that one?
You know what I find interesting about Stuart is I think he's got everything to offer. Her name's not even. I've been calling her Kirsty. It's Kristy, and I've been getting them all mixed up. And Kristen Davis. It's Kristy.
Not
Sorry.
Cindy.
Yeah, not Cindy. I've called her also. I can only apologise. But what I find interesting is I, I want to believe that everything he's doing is genuine, but I just can't, Dave. I don't know why. He is a bit. We follow him on Instagram and that, and I've seen some of his posts. He's a very clever guy. He articulates himself very well. I just don't know whether he's just doing it to further himself in the competition. From what I can see, however, he did get a kiss offer tonight. In the episode. So, he did do the business. She really is into him, and I could be completely wrong. I don't dislike him. I think he's a good guy. I'm not completely convinced by the way he's been. He's like trying to be too nice to her, and I think he's being a gentleman. And at the end of the day, you've got to bring your own personality in. That if she's going to fall in love with you, she's going to fall with you in love with you, warts and all, isn't she? You can't be this person that you're not, because that'll never work. So I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I'm just not. I'm not really convinced by any of the guys at the moment, Dave. I can't honestly say there's anybody I see has got a spark with her, unless somebody comes out of left field.
Yeah, I guess it's difficult though, isn't it? It's only episode 3. We haven't seen that much of each individual person and their time on the camera. So we've seen bits of each bloke to date, and as the numbers kind of whittle down and they go on more dates, I think we'll see more, the personalities coming through. But again, it's this kind of bachelor type format, isn't it? Where, you know, I'm sure there is an element of playing tactics as well, to stay in the game and to get that time on the dates and stuff. You do have to be borderline perfect, don't you? I mean, you can't pretend to be something you're not, but you've got to put your absolute best foot forward, or else, if you come off like a knob, if you're just having a bad day, and everyone does, but you let that spill over into a date or something, you're fucked, aren't you? And you could be going home.
Yeah, and I think you're right. And obviously on Stuart's day, he did get interrupted, Dave, by Trent at the door and Jason, and he was looking for Snootsy's cat. Now, obviously, someone played a prank, or whether the production had done it, and it's a bit of a storyline, a bit of a fake, thing that's going on. But he put on that suit and sort of changed into somebody, didn't he? Like this character he obviously plays, and I was like, oh dear. Oh dearie me, you are not going to get very far. And Stuart played it cool. He was right. He's like, he's being a bit of a dick, really. They look stupid, not me. But I found that really bizarre with Trent. He seems really, really confident, but he's very, very much out there as well, isn't he? He really he does his own thing, which isn't always a
Yeah.
bad thing. He doesn't follow suit off everyone. I quite like myself. I'm not someone who literally will be a sheep, and I know you're not. So I respect someone like that. But I just thought he was just he seemed a bit forced, all that to me.
Yeah, I think he was just trying to play the fool a bit, wasn't he? He was just
Yeah.
trying to be the center of attention, and like, by putting the silly hat on and stuff like that, and then just kind of rudely interrupting the date between Kristy and Stuart. I thought I didn't think that was necessary, but yeah, he doesn't swim with the tide, does he, Trent? And I don't
No.
know. I think that'll be too much for a lot of people, but it remains to be seen that whether it actually is for Kristy or not. Because I mean,
Yeah.
ultimately, he's one of the ones who's been sticking around. He's survived a few Cullins now, so it'll be interesting if he gets to go on a date with her and how kind of quirky he's going to be on the date.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. It's going to be interesting, David. And also, I'll tell you what was good about this episode, and Christy doesn't give a shit, basically. She's doing her own thing, which I've completely respect. But she takes Walker out, who obviously is the funeral director. They go to this lighthouse and everything, has a kiss with him. He pulls out of his pocket this credit card with his face on it. Everything's going well until he says to her, yeah, I travel the world, me, for work. That's what I do as a job. And we'd seen, and that's one thing I've not pulled up, actually. His family looked like someone from the fucking 70s. The family's there, his nephews and nieces with his brother or his sister. And they're all like sat like he looks like he proper looks like the Waltons or something, doesn't he? He look like they're not even his family. They look really, really fake. And the young girls there saying stuff about Uncle Walker. Yeah, he likes to travel. And he made a great connection with Kristy. And as soon as he made that connection, she was like,
Yep.
see ya. Like, you're gone. It's
Yeah.
fucking very good episode, I thought.
I mean, it was the overnight date, wasn't it? And the lads were not happy about it. That's a plum prize to get that overnight date. And when he came back, they were all sort of ignoring him for a bit, and giving him the cold shoulder. But he proper sort of snatched defeat from the jaws of victory there, didn't he? Because it was all going so well. She clearly has that connection. But when he was talking about the traveling, she was done. It's like, well, the aim of this is to have a baby, start a family, and you're going to leave me at home to bring it up on my own, pretty much, while you're gallivanting around the world. So, uh, but one thing, Chris, because I'm sensing a bit of a Dexter thing here, maybe. What funeral director needs to travel the world?
James Bond? I
It's
don't
a
know.
fucking ruse, isn't it? It's a cover,
Yeah,
surely.
yeah,
You don't,
it must
you
be.
fucking don't you just run the funeral parlor? Isn't that what a funeral director does? So,
Yeah, I don't get that.
is he a fucking serial killer or something like that? And all this traveling is to just satisfy his bloodlust.
It's fucking weird, isn't it? Absolutely,
I, I,
absolutely
I
weird.
genuinely don't get it. I mean, it could be something like sourcing materials for coffins or something. It could be anything. It was just, when something, or you get an idea in your head and then you can't shake it. As soon as he mentioned that about the travel, and I knew he was a funeral director, I'm like, but I don't get it. How does that work? Why? But anyway, I'll get over it. So yeah, ultimately though, Chris, he fucked it.
Yeah, he did. He fucked it. Now, Dave, moment of the episode. We had a couple of good ones there, and obviously anybody who's watched it will understand. Fucking Angelo, the guy, the mafioso Italian fucking. He just looks like somebody stepped off The Godfather or something. And his family's the same. His dad, his brother. I mentioned it all joking aside, but they're definitely proper New Yorkers. And he gets booted off and then turns round to Kristy and goes, well, you wouldn't settle with my family. You're only a four. She's only a four. He didn't say it to her face. He said it afterwards.
Yeah.
Like, they're bitter. She's only a four. And I'm like, wow, what the fuck are you going on about? Like, that is just bitter to the next level. It's like, just take the defeat. You're not right for it. There's no hardship in it at all.
Yeah.
I was amazed by that. I was pissing myself laughing, I must admit.
He was proper bitter, wasn't he? I mean, a little bit like Mario as well. Mario was quite upset, wasn't he? He didn't stoop quite that low, but yeah, I thought calling her a four was it was a little bit uncalled for, and especially after he'd thrown the other guys under the bus, and he had a bit of a reprieve last week, didn't he? I think he's a bit lucky to hang around to week 3, to be honest, but yeah, I think he's sort of shown his colours there, hasn't he? I mean, fucking in terms of a body, Chris, he's built like a brick shithouse, isn't he? So
Oh, yeah.
and he's a good-looking bloke. But yeah, I don't. She ultimately said, there's no real. She doesn't feel like there's a connection there, and so I don't think. Yeah, I don't think she'll be thinking twice about whether that was the right decision or not from here.
No, I don't. And then I say that about Angelo, but good old Jason, what a way for him to leave the house. So he gets booted off. He obviously tried to fucking get a kiss. He tried to get her pissed again, thought it was highly hilarious. He then comes out with the line, I'm not really into city life that much anyway. Runs out the house, goes to North Carolina, Daddy's coming home, and then pisses on the wall, Dave, and gets in the car. And Kristy just goes, right decision, that's all I have to say.
Yeah.
And that was fucking brilliant. like a typical English night out, that pissing up a wall and getting in a taxi on the way home.
Well, hopefully not in recent years, Chris, but
No, obviously.
what can you say? I mean, I want to take the piss a little bit more, but I actually wonder has Jason got a proper drinking problem? Because
Yeah,
most of what we've seen of him on screen, he's pissed, and he's
yes, it is.
taking it too far as well. He's not just happy. He's being over the top. He's being clearly hammered, and so yeah, I mean when you're on reality TV, sure. I mean, his fucking parents are watching that, Chris. You know what I
I
mean?
know. I know. And they can't be proud of that. Like, he's a chip off the old block. That's how I
Yeah.
got your mother.
Oh,
Yeah,
good
well,
on you.
fucking,
Fuck 'em for
yeah.
voting you off. You know, it's just not good, is it? I
No,
don't
it's not.
don't think it was called for.
I think one thing I'm struggling with, Dave, on this whole show is we're 3 episodes in, we're gonna be going into the 4th, and that's not gonna be available till the back end of this week, so it gives you a bit of time to digest it, I think, which is pretty good for us because most of the shows we do are either binge watched or they're over Love Island, aren't they, when it's a
Yeah.
daily thing, so this is something slightly different for me and you because 'cause we're watching in real time. We haven't got that foresight of that just go, "Right, we're gonna watch 12 episodes." Is I still I'm not really. I don't like any of the guys at all. I don't think anybody other than Stuart, who thinks a good guy. That Keith is a fucking firecracker, Dave. Oh my god, he kicked off with Matt, and he was right. Matt was being a dick. Every time they were trying to talk, Matt was just fucking jumping in. When Jason was trying to speak, and he's just
Oh,
jumping in,
yeah, yeah,
jumping in.
yeah. I forgot about that.
Yeah,
Yep.
Keith went off, but then it shows Keith a preview for for this week's episode, and he's fucking doing the same, and he goes off again. He's slamming doors, everything. So I don't know what's going on there, but he seems like a good guy as well. Other than he's got a fucking temper, but I'm not sure I'm rooting for, and I can't honestly say, Dave, whether I'm rooting for Kristy because the ultimate goal of the show is for to get impregnate her, and I don't know. Even though we were laughing, going, this is
Start
right
a
up.
family, Chris. Start a family.
Well, sorry. Yes, all right, it's our family. But you know, at the end of the day, Dave, let's you're saying it nicely. They had him fucking wanking into a cup
Yeah.
on the first episode, so it's not all sweetness and light, is it really? But you're
Yeah.
right. You're doing the PC version. I'm just like taking the piss because I'm literally watching it thinking, I'm gonna watch this till the end, and I'll probably watch every series if they do make any more. But my God, is it hard to even root for Kristy? I'm really struggling with her as well because I'm just like, this is not fucking normal. It isn't at all. It's fucking brilliant, but it's just, I don't know. Even I'm just watching it like this is fucking weird as fuck to me.
It's weird, but that's why we love it, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it is.
No, I think I don't know. It is strange. I mean, she did talk about she was married. You know, she got divorced. She's 41, and she clearly wants kids and stuff. And I guess because of her history on and contacts from being on The Bachelor previously, I guess someone probably came with that kind of proposal, and it seemed like a good idea. I mean, I do wonder what's going to happen to the kid. Sort of growing up and like I say, I'm sure we discussed it on another episode, didn't we? How did you how did you and Dad meet, Mum? You know?
Yeah.
Let me show you episode 1.
Especially if it's Alan. Well, I
Yeah,
pitied that because he
Alan
had the most sperm.
basically
Yeah.
had the most swimmers, and so that's how we selected him. So yeah, I don't know. Ultimately, all these guys as well, they're in their kind of late 30s to mid 40s, and I just have to think. Well, if they were a really great catch, well, surely they'd have been caught already, wouldn't
Yeah.
they?
Yeah. I agree. I agree. I, I, I think as well. He's saying that about him being, a good catch and stuff. But I also think I'm trying to wrap my head around like the whole fucking sperm testing thing. Did they have Kristy up in stirrups to make sure she can actually get pregnant and stuff? Because they've got. No, I don't mean that in a bad way. But I'm just saying they're going from one extreme to the other. They're testing the guys. Obviously, I'm surely she must have had some sort of fertility test. But really, surely it should just be about her getting a partner, and then if they get pregnant, this is just straight in. I mean, what is the fucking show doing? Are they sponsor her when she has the baby and stuff as well? I don't get. Is there a follow up show? You take a step back. It's fucking gruesome, isn't it? Really, it
Yeah,
really is.
it's brilliant though, isn't it? It's
Yeah.
brilliant.
Oh, don't worry, Dave. I'm not, me with reality stuff. It's fucking brilliant. But I sit there. If I try and overthink it, I'm like, just fucking watch it for what it is. It's just fucking car crash TV, which I
Yeah,
absolutely
it's
love.
total trash TV, isn't it? So that's why we love it. So yeah, I mean, what are your predictions then, Chris? We've seen 3 episodes now. We've whittled it down a little bit more. We've seen Kristy have dates with a couple of the other guys. What are you thinking now? Because I think there's only 6 episodes of this, so we're at the halfway point now.
Oh, right. Sorry, I didn't realise. The only one who I think she seems to have, and a couple of the guys have mentioned it, is the tall guy, the 6'8" guy. He got picked for a few of the things that she said, like, who would you marry? Who would you ring for this? And they had a little game, and he kept getting picked, didn't he? The big guy. I can't remember his bloody name, but other than that, I can't see any. Other than maybe Stuart, there seems a great connection with Stuart. I just hope that he is completely genuine. I think it's out of them two more than anything. Other than that, I don't think anybody else is in the running, Dave. I just can't see anything. About yourself?
I'm going to go with Alan, I think, the South African writer. He's got the looks. He's tall, dark, handsome. Got a distinguished bit of grey, sort of salt and pepper in the hair. I think she'll end up going with him. She may, struggle to get over the whole Cindy thing and calling her by the wrong name, but if she can get over that, then I think she might go with him. I think Matt seemed to have a good connection with her, and she feels very protected. But I think he's going to be a bit too jacked up on testosterone, to be honest. I think he's going to rattle a few more feathers in the house, and then some of that drama is going to end up getting back to Kristy in some way.
Yeah, I think so as well. And you'd said Alan from the start, didn't you? I said I think he's got looks wise and package wise. He looked like he has everything.
Package wise. I didn't
me,
quite
I'm
notice.
Fucking, these innuendos are just getting worse, aren't they? Right, anyway.
Notice, but I'm sure he's got a lovely package.
Fuck off, Dave. Right? If you want to get in contact with us at cdrealitycast@gmail.com or on Twitter at cdrealitycast. And on Instagram, guys, it's this. No, it's not. And it is that. It is, Dave. What am I talking about? It's CD Reality Cast on Instagram. So get over there because we're policing that a lot more than we used to. And we're just throwing out posts and links. And we're also following quite a lot of the cast if you want to find them. And also, Dave, we're now following the Australian Love Island Season 1 cast. So I've got all them guys lined up. They're going to be names that at the moment mean fuck all to you, Dave, but give it the back end of next week and you are going to be all over it, my friend. I cannot wait.
Yeah. No, it's next Monday, isn't it? It starts up in the UK. And so, definitely looking forward to that one.
Great stuff. Right, mate. Well, we'll see you tomorrow.